Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, so yesterday we looked at, read and reread a folk tale called Uka and the Honest Thief. And we looked at the words in there, interpreted them, and we talked about the theme. Later today, in writing, you're going to be writing about a theme. The theme of Uka and the Honest Thief, can you really have such a thing as an honest thief? So, when I reviewed your vocabulary quizzes, I noticed that you had a little difficulty with the terms virtuous and courteous because they are quite similar. So, I'm going to introduce to you Thumper. And Thumper is whose baby?
A rabbit.
A rabbit.
It's Bambi's baby.
Bambi.
Bambi from the classical Bambi Walt Disney movie, which goes back a long way. So without telling me whether you think she or he represents virtuous or courteous, just think about it in your mind. And then we'll assess that as we go along during the lesson and come back to it. The other one I'd like you to look at is this little angel. Think about if the angel represents virtuous or courteous. Don't tell me, think about it, and maybe you'll change your mind during the lesson as we look at both of these terms. Okay, so first of all, we're going to distinguish between the meanings of courteous and virtuous. And remember that distinguish means to tell the difference between. You're going to define the word courteous first using this cluster map, and then we'll go through the same thing with virtuous with that cluster map. And we're going to be writing sentences up here, synonyms down here, definition in the middle. So if you would take your iPads and look at wordcentral.com, which you're familiar with using, look up the word courteous, just the definition, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, does anybody have a definition?
I do.
Okay.
It's courteous. It's marked by good manners suitable to a court, or marked by respect and consideration of others.
Very nice. Did you get a different definition, Michael, or the same?
Got the same.
Okay, so good manners. How could we put that into our own words? Can you think how we could put that into our own words? Good manners.
Doing the right thing at the right time.
Okay. And what kind of behavior?
Good behavior. Kind and sweet.
All right, so we can leave that at that one. Very good. Now let's talk about some sentences let's outline some sentences with the word courteous. Can you come up with any sentences?
I can.
Okay, Michael?
The courteous young man held the door open for the elderly woman.
Very nice.
That's good.
Very nice. Amanda, do you have one?
I do. The boys and girls were courteous to the grown-ups in the room.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, so you are obviously getting the basic understanding of courteous to have come up with those sentences already. I know I gave you some lead time to think about it. Who would like to come up and sketch or write one sentence on our cluster map?
I can do that.
Okay.
Let's see.
What color would you like to use?
Green's fine.
I love the way she's sketching.
And let's see, the sentence would be, the sign said, please be courteous to the customer.
Very nice. Nice job, Amanda. Thank you so much. Okay, do we have another sentence for courteous?
Oh, I guess that's me, isn't it?
Yes, Michael. Would you like to come up and draw or write a abbreviated sentence up here?
I'll write it since I'm not a very good artist.
Okay, we have to keep it reasonably brief. he's writing that, you can start looking up the synonyms for courteous, and you just press on thesaurus to do that.
Okay.
It was
courteous
courteous.
of him to write a thank you note.
Very nice. Thank you, Michael. Go ahead, Michael, and look up the synonyms for courteous. And I'll write the synonyms down that you come up with. If you see any good ones in there, sometimes Word Central doesn't have.
It doesn't really have much other than showing consideration, good manners.
Okay? So let's just put good manners again.
Okay.
And I like consideration. Notice that we're not really focusing on morals or values. So which word do you think we might be moving towards when I talk about good morals and values?
Virtuous.
Virtuous. So can you see the difference there?
I can.
You can start to see the difference. Okay, so we're going to move on to virtuous, and I'd like you to look up in wordcentral.com the definition of virtuous. So remember to click on dictionary for that one. Yes, Michael.
Having or showing moral virtue.
Okay, so I'm going to put moral virtue, and remember moral is your values. And values and morals, the same as courteous, good manners and consideration, are parts of your character. So that's what's on the inside of you. That's not what's on the outside of you. Remember, character is what is on the inside of us. And that's what we're assessing right now, the difference between the character trait courteous and the character trait virtuous. Okay, so who can give me a sentence with virtuous?
I can.
Michael?
Her beliefs led her to live a virtuous life.
Her beliefs led her to live a virtuous life. So it was her beliefs. So I'm just going to abbreviate that here. I'm going to put beliefs led to a virtuous life. Amanda, can you elaborate, do you think, on what kind of beliefs might have led her to a virtuous life?
Someone that takes in consideration other people's feelings before themselves.
Others' feelings.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about synonyms for virtuous? Notice that we have got into morals and values with this word.
Conforming to a high standard of morality or virtue.
So the morality came in again. Do you all understand morality?
Morality. Yeah. Basically, doing the right thing and knowing that that other people are looking to you to set the standard.
Okay. So morality. I like that that word comes up there, and that you were able to explain that. So you're setting an example too.
You're setting an example.
Michael, do you have anything you'd like to add on
For what, a synonym?
for a synonym?
Nope, that's all it has here.
Okay, very good. So you can put your iPads down, close them up, and we're going to take another look now that we've discussed courteous and virtuous. Take a quick look at Thumper and the angel again. Taking a good educated guess and looking at the two clusters that we have developed, where do you think the angel falls? Michael?
Virtuous.
And why do you say that?
Because she represents morals and character that's good internally.
Internally, I like the use of the word internally, yes. Well, where does that leave Thumper?
He's courteous.
He's young and still learning, but he's courteous. And his mom said to him, if you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't
don't
no.
say anything at all. So that's where a lot of young people don't know about Bambi, apparently. Alright, so I'm going to show you a quick slideshow. And what I want you to do is raise your hands and tell me whether you think the representation from the picture is representing virtuous or courteous. First one.
I would say that's virtuous. The decision between right and wrong.
Alright, Michael?
I agree.
Okay, because it does say right, wrong. This one's good manners. May I? Excuse me. Thank you. I'm sorry. You're welcome.
That's courteous.
Courteous.
Thank you.
Courteous again.
A little object like a robot with a halo over his head.
Trying to be virtuous.
I like the way you say trying to be, because trying to be is probably what he's doing. Trying to be virtuous.
That's from Pac-Man.
From Pac-Man.
That's the ghost that eats Pac-Man.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Thank you, Michael.
So that's kind of a, what's the word? I can't think of the word.
What, where would you place him? Virtuous or courteous?
He's trying to be angelic, so that must be virtuous.
Okay. Honesty.
That's a virtue.
Amanda?
I
You
don't
can
know.
agree or disagree?
I disagree. I think it's courteous. To be honest, to be courteous, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, so you have to
But
be.
that's an internal quality.
That's true. All right, I switch my vote
To virtuous?
to the virtuous.
I like the way you're having a discussion between you two. That's excellent. Working together. Boy raising his hand, trying to show respect.
Courteous.
I agree.
And a little boy helping an elderly lady across the street.
Courteous.
Michael?
I would agree.
Would
I'd
you
be
agree with
courteous.
I like the way you're taking turns going first. And good deeds. This to me is a little bit of a crossover between the two.
Yeah, I would say there's a good blend of both.
What do you feel about that, Michael?
Yeah, I would say that the internal virtue of trying to do good leads to courteous behavior.
Correct. Yeah.
Very nice
That's right.
contributions from both of you. Thank you. I'm going to give you an assessment. What I'd like you to do is complete the assessment. And it looks like this. It's the vocabulary assessment. And if you finish this early, you're going to do an enrichment activity called question and answers. And it's going to be based on the folk tale and vocabulary that we've done today. So I'll give that to you in a moment. Let's take a quick backtrack for a minute. Who can tell me the meaning of courteous?
Good manners and respect.
Very good. Good manners and respect. Who would like to outline the meaning of virtuous? Yes.
It's an internal qualities that lead you to be courteous, things that drive your morals.
Very nice. Drive your morals. And how do you think now you'll be better able to evaluate the folk tale in your theme writing today?
Most definitely.
So you understand the difference from the cluster maps?
Yep.
Okay, so here's your test. And thank you both very much, boys and girls, for working so hard.